It's interesting that when we're listening to Pecker, he's talking about how the National Enquirer worked. He's talking about using stories as leverage against celebrities. He's talking about printing things that he knew were not true, damaging stuff for people. Ted Cruz is the example we keep coming back to. Are you struck by how candid he is?
I'm not struck by how candid he is. I mean, remember, he just testified about his agreement. The jury has seen it. About it requires him, in order to be immune from to not be criminally prosecuted, he has to tell the truth. And it's spelled out, like, you can't make up stories. You can't implicate people who are not implicated. But the thing I am struck by is a complete lack of remorse. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm not in the courtroom, but it's all reports are, he's just sort of, this is what I did.
Does it open him up to more lawsuits, the National Enquirer?
I mean, you have to have a victim who's willing to sue, but his testimony is, this is what we were doing. You have the head of it saying that we were doing this and it was intentional. And it was intentional, and it was for, at least a main purpose was for a political candidate. So I don't understand why people wouldn't be thinking that. He on cross is talking about what they did in order to sort of, he doesn't use the word extort, but it sort of sounds like what we did to try and get celebrities to cooperate with them. And you know, it just seems to me that you can be sure that a lot of people, I mean, this is not going under the radar screen, and there are a lot of lawyers out there, so I can imagine people are going to be looking at this. And if you were harmed, if you I mean, this is like, we just had Mark Schroeder on to talk about, you know, the Vice President of the United States, you know, where his line was when you're actually actively not opposing and encouraging people to hang me, I'm done. Here, you know, Ted Cruz apparently doesn't have a line yet, which is you have testimony.
Also went after his wife.
Exactly,
I mean,
his wife and
really
his father.
Ugly. Yeah.
I mean, making up, and you have someone now saying, you know, it was intentional. In other words, there's one thing where you think, oh, come on, you should have known, or you may have had a source saying this, but you have someone saying that we did this intentionally. That is what lawsuits are made out of.
Besides lawsuits, but is it also for the jury to kind of taint a witness who, by most estimates, seem pretty likable and honest on the stand, that the jurors, at least to the extent that they can be seen, are responding to him, that he is being very forthcoming, to be able to stop for a minute as Donald Trump's lawyer and say, just a minute here. This is not a good guy. This is a guy who bought stories that were lies to use against people, or bought stories that maybe were true, that suddenly this isn't all black or white. There's a lot of gray here that you should be looking at.
So for people who are trial lawyers, I think jurors are very good at separating out, oh, he's believable from, like, he's likable and I want to have a drink with him. I mean, they may
he has a lot of good stories to tell.
They may very well be going,
this is in costumes, so he doesn't know who I am.
You could imagine a juror thinking this is a disgrace and, you know, this is really awful, and they might even be angry for why he got a non-prosecution agreement. But that's not what they're there for. They're not there to decide do they like or dislike somebody. This is not, no one's saying this should be a friend of yours. It is all about, are they credible?
His lack of remorse makes him credible. He is who he is. So he would be a phony if he said, oh, I'm so sorry what I did to Ted Cruz. He is credible because he is his authentic self.